Our galactic family is making their presence more obvious to us. More ships are starting to decloak, to vibrate to a frequency that we can perceive them in this reality. Now, even though you may not be able to perceive them through your physical eyes, some of you will be able to, you can perceive them by experiencing the shifting or the different energy within the atmosphere. And it's more of a third eye energy, feeling, seeing, reading way to see their presence. So very important to connect in with your heart space when you're feeling something, when you're outside, even when you're in the house and you're feeling a presence. Get in tune with that, get aligned, and feel the energy that is coming through there, because our guides are all around us and they're making more of themselves known. Actually, we're allowing them the space, we're holding the space so that they can make themselves more known. That allows us to expand our awareness and start to include them more in our day-to-day reality as we vibrate up into through the fourth dimensional field into the fifth dimensional field. Physically, our reality is going to change, and they are going to start being more inclusive in that reality. Years ago, my Pleiadian guide took me to this amazing space. It was a house. I've talked about this in older videos. It was almost like a log cabin-y kind of house, mountain in the background, absolutely beautiful. The only one that was there was me, and it was her, but there were craft coming and going. They were landing and they were taking off. Not a lot of people there. That was a fifth dimensional space of mine. It was a space that I held that was within my heart that I was able to visit, and she was there. And other guides, ET guides, were able to come and go. So that is a space that will eventually materialize in this reality and be inclusive for others to be able to come and experience. As you rise in frequency, you will start to tune in to that frequency of reality. And she was showing me back then that this is a fifth dimensional space. There weren't a lot of people around, but there were a lot of higher frequency beings there. And it was a very, very just loving, amazing, cool experience. So as we rise and the planet rises in frequency, these other aspects of us, our star guides, are going to start to just become a part of our reality. So those of you that have been doing the work and your physical body is rising in frequency, you're going to start to notice some of these anomalies, maybe out of the corner of your eye. Maybe you're going to look in the sky, you're going to see a craft and it's going to be gone. Things like that are starting to become perceivable to you because you are moving up into a dimensional field where they can actually manifest. Okay, so it's a very, very amazing time. And the more we collectively work together, I know there's been a lot of global meditations, especially around the 5-5 portal that we had, things like that. We are connecting up consciously, quantumly, and we are just holding the space, anchoring the light, and that is further allowing the darkness within the planet to come up to be revealed. And that raises the frequency of the planet. And as we do that, more of these higher frequency beings can start to manifest in the reality because we are supporting the grid. We are holding that energy that allows them to manifest. When we were at a lower frequency, when the planet was at a lower frequency, it took a lot of energy for our star guides to manifest physically in this reality because they had to really experience those lower frequencies, and that was just very uncomfortable for them. It was done, but it was done rarely. Okay, my Pleiadian guide explained that to me a few years ago, that they can come down into lower frequencies, but some get lost in the lower frequencies because there's a disconnect, just as we've been disconnected. But as the planet rises, because of the work we're doing and the light we're grounding, they don't have to come down as far. So it's a lot easier for them to manifest in our reality. Just know energetically, they're all around you, communicating with you. They're in your field. And if you close your eyes and you get into your heart space, you anchor yourself in your body, you're going to be able to perceive their energy. Could come through in many different ways as a knowing, could come through telepathically, things like that. So whatever it is for you, be open to the fact that you have made yourself available and you are holding the space within your field for them to start to come forward and to manifest. Remember, you are never disconnected from your guides. Your guides are always there for you. You're just disconnected from your knowing of your ability to connect with them. So we think that there's some sort of a complicated process, or we have to meditate a certain way or do certain things to be able to connect with our guides, but that is not the case. You're always connected to your guides. You're always connected to the quantum field. You're just not aware of it because you're too focused on 3D reality. You're too focused as being the human. And when we do that, we separate ourselves from our multidimensional energy. It is still there. It is always there. So when you get in and don't have any expectations about what you're going to experience, or how you're going to experience your guides, or what you're going to feel, or how it's going to come through, get in there and feel and notice the subtle shifts in your energy. That is you connected to them. Okay. And within that energy, within those shifts, there might be subtle packets of information, subtle light codes that will open up and unfold and allow knowing to come forward. And you're going to start to receive messages and things like that. These messages will first come through synchronicities. That's, again, getting your attention on to be aware that your guides are there, that there's a connection to a higher frequency reality. When you get in here subtly and you start to feel those shifts, just acknowledge them and allow whatever it is to come forward. Okay. And the more that you do that, the more you're anchoring the consciousness to be able to allow them to more fully manifest for you. They're not going to come in per se and wave their hands in front of your face now, because we need to do the work. When those types of experiences happen, and that happened with me when I first awakened, that's to get your attention, just to get you out of that 3D mode. You start to see these things physically, maybe flashes and things like that, starting to see energy, hearing a voice here or there. It gets you out, or circuit breaks the thought process, the mental chatter of always doing and living as a 3D human. Okay, but once that happens, they'll kind of pull away a little bit and hang there for you to be able to do the work, so that you could do the healing work, so that you could clear the density within your body, so that you could ground more of your higher self and rise in frequency. And as you do that, you start to get into that frequency of where they're hanging out, and you start to be able to perceive them that way. So think of those initial experiences you may have had that were very 3D as just waving their hands trying to get your attention, but now you know they're there. So you need to get in and do the work so that we could come and meet them. Let's think of like somebody, you're out in a field, there's a fence, and somebody pops their head up over the fence and waves their hand at you and then ducks behind the fence and leaves, right? You're like, well, I want them to come back. Well, they're not necessarily going to come back, but they may be waiting for you to come over and jump over that fence and come be with them. That's exactly what's happening. So first was the fence wave, and then it's like, oh, there's somebody over there. How do I get to them? They're not going to come to me. I got to get to them. And we do that by going through the healing process and working through the clearing, creating more space, grounding more of our higher selves, so that we rise in frequency. And before you know it, you're manifesting a reality that is a match to the reality that they're hanging out in. And then we just are able to perceive them. It's no different than manifesting a new life for yourself, or manifesting abundance. You're doing the healing work. Okay. And you're allowing that energy to come through. Same thing. It's all related. It's all about raising your frequency. And as you raise your frequency, your reality is going to change. Your timeline is going to become more aligned with your higher self, with your highest purpose, your soul path. And part of that soul path is your reconnection with your multidimensional aspects, your multidimensional energy, which includes your star guides, the galactic guides, and all of that. So it's a very, very exciting time. Don't be discouraged if you feel like you had great connections in the past and now you don't. Just think and know that they're on the other side of that fence waiting for you to come over and join them. The important thing was they got your attention, and you know that they're there. If you didn't know they were there over the other side of the fence, you wouldn't be looking for them, right? So we need to just remember that we're not separated. We just need to get there. We get there simply by healing, because we know there is no there. It's all a state of frequency. Okay. It can all change in an instant, right here, right in the heart space, right in the body, it can all change because it gets you back into that channel, back aligned with your multidimensional energy, and new realities begin to unfold. Thank you.